Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala, a project under NMEICT. I am Yatrik Patel. I am working for Inflibnet, and today we will learn about RFID technology for libraries. Today we will cover introduction to RFID, components of RFID, RFID use in libraries, as well as interfacing RFID with library automation system. We'll also have glimpse on prevailing RFID standards, as well as in the end we will discuss advantages and disadvantages of RFID. Now let's understand what is exactly RFID. RFID stands for radio frequency identification. RFID is part of family of AIDC, that is automatic identification and data capture technologies, that includes barcode and smart cards. RFID is a non-contact, or one can say wireless, use of radio frequency electromagnetic fields to transfer data for the purpose of automatic identification and tracking of tags attached to objects. The tag contains electronically stored information which can be read, added or modified. And this tags doesn't need to be in line of sight of the reader and can be embedded in variety of objects. So with this brief, let us have a broader view of components of RFID. Generally speaking, there are three broad components. Any RFID system consists of an object, so that an item which needs to be identified or tracked with a tag. Another component required is a RFID reader, that is required to read the data from the tag which has been attached with the object, and a server, or say a docking station with a software that interface with the system that make use of information from the tags. Now let us see each component in detail. First of all, we will see RFID tags. These tags are mainly of two types, that is active and passive. Active tags can be powered and read at short range via electromagnetic induction, or in a simple language one can say via magnetic field. Passive type of tags can use local power source, so it may be a battery or something, or this passive type of tag can also collect energy from the surrounding electromagnetic field and act as passive transponder to emit microwave or UHF radio wave. So in short, when I talk about passive tags, either you can attach a battery or you can create a magnetic field around that tag, so that tag captures the power of electromagnetic field and emit microwave or UHF radio wave as per type of tag. Passive tags don't have any energy supply of its own, so it cannot generate radio wave itself, whereas active tags have an energy source and can generate radio waves on its own and can transmit the data available in the chip. Now when we talk about active tags, there are two major types of active tags. The first type contains a transponder which can be activated by some sort of signals from the readers, whereas another type emits radio waves at a specified time intervals. So comparatively, passive tags tend to be cheaper and smaller than active tags. The operative frequencies of active RFID tags are 455 MHz, 2.45 MHz or 5.8 GHz. Due to these high frequencies, tags can be read at a distance of 18 to 90 meter. Additionally, these active tags can also contain a large information on the chip, whereas passive tags can transmit on low, high or ultra high frequencies. Passive tags generally used in libraries tends to operate at a high 13.56 MHz frequency, and therefore the distance that these tags can communicate with the reader is limited to few centimeters or few meters, and typically this is what required in library settings. As discussed earlier, another component is RFID reader and server. So reader or sensor operates on same frequency as of tags. Otherwise, there will be miscommunication. Whatever tags emit, the sensor cannot capture that if both of them don't work on same frequency. So the antenna available in the reader emits electromagnetic field, and tag picks up this field and draw energy from it. The tag uses this energy to activate the circuit and the chip available on it. The software on the server contains the further information about the unique identification information which has been captured from the tag. The server uses this identification number to track the item or the record movements of the items. Now let us see how this RFID can be used in libraries. Libraries around the world have already started to use RFID technologies for speedy and efficient handling of library object, inventory control and checkout. Libraries around the world have already started to use RFID technologies for speedy and efficient handling of library objects, inventory control, checkout and check-in processes. In general, the technology used in library is the same technology used in application for passive RFID tags. When we talk about different types of tags which are being used in library, these tags can be either read only or in short RO. It can be write once, read many, that is WORM, or read and write. RO tags, that are read only tags, are pre-programmed with a unique number like a serial number, or it may be accession number or ISBN number. Write once, read many, that is WORM tags are pre-programmed, but additional information, whatever you want to add, can be added to these tags. Whereas read write, so RW tags can be updated dynamically, or I mean to say programmatically. Most library applications use RW, that is read write tags. Now let us see the kinds of RFID readers which are being used in library. The typical installation in a library would require a staff station, or also popularly known as conversion station. This library staff station unit enables library staff to check in or check out items for library circulation operations. This unit also enables library staff to tag a particular item, that may be a library book or any library object, as well as member card. This can be connected to existing hardware as a standalone solution. Another one is self-check-in, self-checkout station or self-operation kiosk. RFID self-check-in checkout systems provide facilities for borrowing, return and renewals of material via RFID tags. RFID self-check systems can specify checkout library items in one easy step by just putting the material on the station. In the station, when RFID tag is read, a software event occurs which changes the status of an item either checked in or checked out based on the operation performed. Self-service stations can be used to check in library materials without any staff assistance, wherein a direct self-service station can be used to check in library material without staff assistance, wherein a user can directly put in his or her borrowed material and the operation will be performed automatically. Libraries also use the exit sensors or security gates. Exit sensors or security gates can be used to verify that all the material leaving the library has been properly checked out or not. Generally, they are embedded in security gate. A security gate is composed of two pedestals, and in fact, if you require based on the width of the gate, you may put additional pedestal to increase the detection surface. Each pedestal can be standalone and can be plugged in to the main power. This exit sensor can be a standalone solution or may be interfaced with your library management system. Libraries are also using RFID based book drop stations. Book drop stations are used to automatically discharge the library materials and reactive security. This station can be placed anywhere within or outside the library. A library user drops the library item, that means a book or any other material, into the slot provided in the station. The reader captures the electronic signature on the RFID tag available on that item and sends this information to backend system for appropriate action. User is also acknowledged by alerting sound, light or printed receipt. Library user's record is updated immediately in the library management system. Some sophisticated libraries use sorter and conveyor. Sorter and conveyor are combination of automatic system for returning material to proper area of the library. When library material is returned by user by any means, it is usually placed on a conveyor which carries the item at designated location. A scanner placed at that location reads the tag and decides the exact bin where it has to be placed or dropped. When the item reaches to the correct bin, it is automatically dropped to the bin using mechanical system. If the item is reserved by someone, it will get dropped into a bin which has been designated for reserved item. The handheld readers are also extensively used in libraries. A portable handheld reader can be moved along the items on the shelves without touching them. The data captured by this unit can be stored in unit itself which can be downloaded through a software interface, or it can be transmitted via wireless connection to the server. This handheld reader can be used for inventory control, including stock verification. It can also be used to locate misshelved library item or for tracking of library material. So now so far we have seen about the tags as well as the RFID sensors which can be used in library. Now let us understand how this RFID can be interfaced with library automation system. Normally, you require a PC or a machine or a computer system which has been designated as a server and which will act as communication hub between various components of RFID. It receives the information from the readers and exchange the information with database of library automation system. The standard server software includes the NCIP, that is National Circulation Interchange Protocol, or SIP, that is Session Initiation Protocol, as well as APIs, that is Application Programming Interface, which are necessary to interface it with the integrated library management software. The server typically includes a transaction database so that reports can be produced. Most of library management system vendors supplies RFID server or say middleware at additional cost, whereas sole software made by Inflibnet comes pre-packaged with RFID server without any additional cost. And see, one have to take utmost care while implementing RFID, because say standards, if you don't go by standards and specifications, you may not get full functionality of the system. So there are two prevailing standards for RFID, that are NCIP, that is National Information Standard Organization's Circulation Interchange Protocol. This is the protocol that provides specifications for the exchange of messages and among the computer-based application to enable them to perform functions necessary to lend and borrow items, to provide controlled access to electronic resources, and to facilitate cooperative management of these functions. This NCIP protocol defines a collection of messages and associated rule of syntax and semantics for the use by applications. So an application can perform functions necessary to lend items, to provide control access to electronic resources, and to facilitate cooperative management. On other side, there is another popular protocol, that is SIP2 protocol. SIP2 is a communication protocol that provides a standard interface between library management system and library automation devices, that is staff station, checkout and check-in devices, etc. This protocol can be used by any application that has a need to retrieve information from an LMS or process circulation transaction via integrated library management systems. There are two versions of SIP, that is SIP, version 1 and version 2. SIP2 is based on a proprietary protocol but has been open for use by all the parties providing systems for library circulation. Now let us understand the advantages and disadvantages of RFID in the libraries. Now, RFID use is always a debatable topic when libraries choose to convert their collection to be able to take advantage of the technology. The advantages are reduction of manpower requirement, its reliability, its security, better inventory control, tag life and appearance. Whereas disadvantages are its cost, it can be easily tampered, so the vulnerability is also an issue, and removal of RFID tags. Say if somebody removes the RFID tag from the material, you won't be able to do anything. So summarizing all, in this module we have learned basics of RFID technology along with components, standards and protocols related to implementation of the same in the library. It is quite clear from above discussion that an RFID system may be a comprehensive system that addresses both the security as well as the material tracking needs of the library. RFID in the library is not a risk if the standards are followed religiously. RFID speed up the circulation operation of a library along with faster in-house operations related to inventory handling and frees the library staff to do more productive work. It is important to educate library staff as well as library users about RFID technology before implementing the RFID system in the library. Thank you.